Dawn of a new college basketball season begins today from the Sanford Pentagon in Sioux Falls, South Dakota at the Field of 68 Opening Day Showcase. The curtain raiser features a pair of perennial mid-major contenders under new leadership as the Salukis of Southern Illinois take on the College of Charleston Cougars. Welcome courtside for the first of three standout matchups from Sioux Falls today alongside Jeff Goodman and Randolph Childress and our crew. I'm Alex Seinert. Opening day of the college hoop season is always special, but Jeff, because of this event, it feels a little more substantial this year.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've been doing this for 25 years, and college basketball always comes out with a whimper. Every other sport comes out with a bang, and now we got some real matchups to start out the season. 3 really good mid-major games. I think we could be looking at 5 NCAA tournament teams playing today, Randolph.
Some really great coaching here, I think, so I couldn't argue with that at all. Super excited to be here. It's opening night. You can't get ready for this game today. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm really excited to be working with you guys also.
I love it. Same here. Well, we get to start things off with a great matchup of two teams breaking in a lot of news, starting with the two-time defending CAA champs.
Yeah, Chris Mack is back. He's been out for 2.5 years after getting fired by Louisville, and he wasn't sure. He wanted to get back in coaching. Now he coaches one of the best teams in the CAA, a team that's been at the tournament 2 straight years, and he has Ante Bozovic, one of the best big men, not only in the CAA, one of the best big men in the country.
And on the other side, Scott Nagy is 30 years head coach, 577 wins. His resume says it all. But this team is a little different than what you're accustomed to. Normally his teams are so offensively efficient. This team is a little slow in that area yet, but they're one of the best defensive teams that he's had so far. They'll need to rely on that until they figure out their offensive identity.
It'll be Nagy and the Salukis taking on Chris Mack and the Cougars. First ever meeting between these two proud programs. Opening tip coming up next from the Pentagon and the Field of 68 Opening Day Showcase.
Do you need your fix of college basketball analysis at the end of every night during the season? If you crave instant reactions and informed breakdowns, make sure you tune into the Field of 68 After Dark every night with access to the biggest stars in the sport and a cast of characters that includes the likes of Tyler Hansborough, Randolph Childress, John Fanta, John Henson, Terrence Oglesby, Jarrell McNeil, and many, many more. The Field of 68 After Dark is where college basketball happens.
This is Heritage Court inside Sioux Falls, South Dakota's Sanford Pentagon, home to this season's first D1 versus D1 men's basketball game. Great matchup between College of Charleston of the CAA and Southern Illinois of the Missouri Valley. One of the coaches in today's opener is no stranger to this part of the world. He's
Southern
standing
Illinois
by
head
with the
coach
fourth
Scott
member of our
Nagy back
broadcast
in
team,
South
Rob
Dakota. Coach, you see all of the blue up here watching you guys play. How's it feel to be back in South Dakota?
Well, it's great. A lot of good memories. A few bad ones, but just an incredible experience here, and it's fun to come back and see some friends.
It's been a long off season. You ready for the year to start?
We're ready. We are. I'm anxious to see where our guys are at. I really like our players, and they're trying to please us. So that's all I can ask.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks to Scott, and thanks to Rob Doster, the fourth member of our squad today. Randolph Childress, let's talk us through some of the men in focus for game one.
I think the key matchup, not matchup, but just the key player for both teams is Ante Bercevich for the Cougars. Versatile big lefty, scores it inside, plays on the perimeter. Not a great three-point shooter, but effective off the dribble from there. And it's the other side, you're talking about Southern Illinois. Kennard Little Moo Davis, physical guard, his ability to post up smaller guards. He's a two-way player, really good defender, oftentimes takes the best player on the other side. We'll see who dominates their matchup. Goes a long way to get that first win.
Davis and Berzovich are each one of only 3 regulars back for both Charleston and Southern. Both will be counted on to help make the transition to a new staff and this new roster as swiftly as possible. Gentlemen, here we go. 7 months off, ready to kick things off on the road to San Antonio, and it begins here in Sioux Falls.
Yeah, thankfully, the offseason is over because we're ready. We're ready for games. We're ready to stop talking about NIL and the transfer portal.
Yeah, let's see some basketball. Settle in. A season of moments that make us cheer, memories we're going to take with us long after the final whistle's set to begin. It is the Salukis from Carbondale, Illinois in the white and maroon. Charleston, South Carolina's finest, the Cougars in the black tonight. I should say this morning. It's 11 a.m. here Central Time in Sioux Falls. And we are underway from the Pentagon. The inaugural Field of 68 opening day showcase underway. Great to have you with us wherever you're watching from. Alex Seinert, Randolph Childress, Jeff Goodman, Rob Doster, and our crew. The first of 3 outstanding games from America's Heartlands. You see Daywilk Tavares, a late switch for Chris Mack into the starting lineup, Randolph.
Yeah, I think College of Charleston usually starts big, but we were thinking Eustace Stonkus was going to start. Didn't have a great practice yesterday, and Coach Mack made an early switch here, sending a message to his team.
Stonkus, just a freshman, one of 7 players from outside the United States on this Charleston roster. Early foul on the floor.
Just a great job. Opening play here, ball screen. One of the better point guards you'll find is C.J. Fulton coming off the ball screen, finding Bercevich and draws the foul.
Fulton now in his 2nd season with the Cougars. Native of Belfast, Northern Ireland, finding Berzovich inside. Tavares. This is what he can do. MEAC Rookie of the Year last season at Delaware State. Big-time scorer.
And you wanted the shooting early. He's more of a proven scorer. You got to know they're going to, Berzovich is going to draw double teams inside. He's a beneficiary from that first possession.
Nice take inside by Ali Deba, the senior from Stockholm. Cannot connect at the rim. It's Charleston slowing things down. Here is Berzovich. First team all-conference a season ago in the now Coastal Athletic Association. Tough inside by the lefty.
Yeah, 3 possessions, 3 touches by Berzovich, and they're going to play through him, and that's what Chris Mack wants to do here today.
Jeff, as you know, I often tell people one of the most underrated skills of a big is his ability to pass the ball. Not everyone can pass. He'll welcome the double team and get and find the open guy. So they're going to feed him all early. They're going to feed him often. You saw the double one time. He punished him with a 3. That time they left him singles coverage. He scored 1-on-1. Let's see if his conditioning can hold up throughout this first half and today, considering it's just early in the season.
One of the big reasons that Berzovich stayed was because Pat Kelsey, the former coach, would split minutes. And Chris Mack has almost promised him, hey, you know what? You're going to go as long as you can. As long as you stay out of foul trouble and are in condition, you're going to play 30-plus minutes.
Talked to him earlier, Jeff, about that, and he wants that. He wants to be the guy. He doesn't want to share. He wants to say, hey, we've won collectively as a team. He wants to be the guy that leads this team back to another CAA championship.
Here's Scott Nagy on the bench in his first season in Carbondale. Spent 21 years at South Dakota State, a team we're going to see later tonight in the nightcap at 5 o'clock. Made a number of NCAA tournaments with the Jackrabbits. Previous 8 years at Wright State for Nagy. One of the few returners on this Southern team, Jarrett Hensley, who started his career at Cincinnati, able to step back and knock down the tray.
And what you see early here from Southern Illinois is just, as we talked about in the open, they're trying to find their offensive identity. They know they can force turnovers on the defensive end like they did there. On the offensive end, they're still trying to put the pieces together with the puzzle. This team is going to have to rely on the defensive end, maybe get out in transition as they figure some things out on the half court on the offensive end.
It is a Salukis team that finished 6th in the Valley a season ago as an offensive foul is called. Back-to-back turnovers for both sides.
It's one of the things that Scott Nagy told us leading into the game was this is untraditional for him. He usually has a pure point guard.
Yep.
On this team, you got two guys in Mayo and Elliott that really aren't point guards, and he's trying to find a way to utilize those guys together.
5-3 our score early. Charleston basketball. Here was Fulton, preseason All-CAA, tough finish from the Irishman.
He wants to be more aggressive. That's the biggest thing for C.J. Fulton. Great assist-to-turnover ratio last year, pass first point guard, but he knows he's got to score more.
Yeah, this team lost a lot of offensive foul power, and he takes care of the basketball, but they need him to be aggressive, looking to score like he just did.
Yeah, they are trying to replace first-team All-Valley guard Xavier Johnson, who led the Valley in scoring, 22 points a game last year, one of the top offensive players in the nation. Tavares fouled on the way by Elliott.
Just a great job there attacking Tavares. Defense isn't set. I thought Elijah Elliott did a really good job trying to anticipate his move, but a lot of contact there and got whistled for the foul.
Tavares is playing well, and Chris Mack said the key to him, he's been up and down all offseason. You know, comes from Delaware State. Obviously, there's a jump in level here, but he's got to be more consistent with his decision-making.
What he is, Jeffy, he's the one guy they can give the ball to, and he can go get you a bucket. Yeah. He doesn't need a ball screen, and that's unique about what he brings to this team.
Another Cougar who can do that, the man who was just fouled on his way to the rim. Ante Brzovic, the 6'10 senior from Zagreb, Croatia, heading to the free throw line.
What you see is the challenge that Chris Mack made to him, and he's forcing him to go inside. In the past, he's had the tendency to drift on the perimeter too much. He's establishing him in the post. He's an elite passer, so when you come to double, you'll find it right now. Southern Illinois doesn't know how to guard him quite yet. He's really off to a strong start.
So aggressive right now. Mack wants to see the toughness out of Ante Brzovic, and so far, we've seen it. He's imposed his will on every time he's pretty much touched the ball so far.
Well, he's asked for this, and he's giving him every opportunity to show.
Yeah,
he wants to be the guy. He wants to be a 20-10 guy, and he's showing you he can handle that right now.
Brzovic 0 for 2 at the line. He shot 65% from the free throw line a season ago. As Moo Davis fires up a tray that does not connect. Tavares on the glass. One and done for the Salukis. Just one bucket so far for Southern Illinois. 1 of 5 from the floor. Good take by A.J. Smith, the Citadel transfer. He is shaken up. Tough collision right on the baseline. And this kid is as tough as they come.
Just a reject of the ball screen. Rotation help comes over a little late. It's obvious block and foul, and A.J. Smith comes down on the backside and asking his teammates to get up, and that doesn't feel too good. We all have done it.
Listen, you're not going to find too many tougher kids. No. I mean, this is a kid who transferred from the Citadel.
Yeah.
So if there's anybody who can handle a tough ball on this court right now, it's A.J. Smith. Trust me, he's been through far worse.
The Citadel, of course, located in Charleston. He made the move across campus. Yeah. He said it was a little controversial because those two are inner-city rivals, even though they don't play in the same conference.
So different, though, because Citadel, you're kind of, I don't want to say it, but you're a little bit of a second-class citizen, right? You've got your niche in Charleston, but Charleston is all about the college at Charleston. Yeah. So it's almost like,
little brother in this situation.
Yes, exactly. And now, you know, he's got the resources. Everything's there for him.
He's come to this program as a Combine Academy with assistant coach Jeff McGinnis. He played for Jeff McGinnis. So I think there's a familiarity there with his former high school coach.
We told us Jeff made him feel comfortable because he's family. That's what he said. That's
Exactly.
why he wanted to make the move. Timeout on the floor, 15:59 to go in the first. 9-3 our score early in the Field of 68 opening day showcase opener.
If you want to change the world, you need to change your world. Breathtaking, wave-making, comfort zone crushing, adrenaline pumping, smile inducing, community building, thought altering, horizon broadening change.
Today, that's enough.
Tomorrow, who knows?
College of Charleston. Extraordinary happens here.
If you haven't heard by now, we have partnered with BetMGM for the season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we'll have special offers for the listeners and the viewers. Download the BetMGM app and sign up using the bonus code FIELD. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you'll receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets. Go download the BetMGM app and use the code FIELD today.
All right, welcome back here in Sioux Falls at the beautiful Pentagon here. And we got a great game already. Charleston, College of Charleston against Southern Illinois. A new coach, Scott Nagy, who has built the program here in nearby South Dakota State. I mean, this is a guy who took over a program that went from Division II to Division I. He went through his struggles early. But man, he took him three NCAA tournaments, left the program in a great spot where now it's considered one of the best mid-majors in America.
It's amazing the job that he did to go from a good team at D2 and make it a great mid-major in just a handful of seasons. He's revered in Brookings, South Dakota.
He should be, because in the way he did it, right? The way he did it, like he's just, I say it all the time, he's the least promoting coach in college basketball to a fault.
Yes.
Everybody in the industry knows what a great X's and O's guy he is, what a great developer, evaluator, and now trust me, he's going to get Southern Illinois back to where they were in the Chris Lowry days. You watch.
He'll get him back quickly. I think the question becomes at that point, when does some of these high major programs look at him quickly, because he's shown you he can build a program.
He's going to do it with toughness and defense. A.J. Smith able to break through that Southern Illinois D and score at the rim, 4 points early. And now a travel going against Damian Mayo Jr. Turnovers have been an issue for Southern in the build-up to the opener. That's what Coach told us.
Yeah, that's his biggest concern with this group right now. They're so sped up. They're trying to learn the system. For Coach Nagy, it isn't just the players that are learning. He has a new assistant coaching staff, and he's having to teach his assistants to teach his staff, his players. And it's just a lot that's going on right now. They're just one of the programs where their defense is ahead of their offense. But at some point, you got to put the ball in the basket. Your confidence just weighs when it doesn't. And right now, they're struggling on the offensive end of the floor, and it's hurting their defense.
Offensive rebound by Elijah Jones, fresh in the game, the Green Bay transfer. That was Stankus, the freshman from Lithuania, who got stripped on his way to the rim by Deba.
Just some of this defense we talked about here. Good on-ball defense. Knocks it off his leg, stays in front of the ball, and they've got to find a way on this end of the floor, though, to help out their defense.
Deba off balance, off the window and in.
It's a nice one-legged runner. They're off balance shot, a little unorthodox, and
that's what he does.
That's his game.
That's his game. Is playing kind of. He doesn't really play off 2 feet. Oh. And Scott said like he'd like him to play a little bit more off 2 feet and make better decisions, but he finds a way.
Diba spent the last 2 seasons at Abilene Christian. Led the team in scoring last year. Very capable at that ends. Smith unable to connect. Ball will stay with the Cougars.
The Cougars are doing a better job right now of controlling the paint. They're getting the basketball either off post-ups or off the dribble in the paint. And it's led to some easier baskets. Southern Illinois is going to have to do a better job of containing the dribble and figure out now that Ante Berger's back in the game, how are they going to defend him?
He's a problem.
He is. He's a matchup nightmare.
Problem. Because, again, he can face up. He can play with his back to the basket, and he's such a good passer for a big man.
That's the separator. I think we have 2 of the best in this showcase. We got 2 of the best passing bigs that you'll find in all of college basketball.
We're going to see the other, Robbie Avila, coming up with St. Louis taking on Santa Clara. That game at 2 o'clock today. South Dakota State, McNeese State, the nightcap at 5 here from Sioux Falls.
Just active in their hands. I mean, we've seen it already today, and they've got to, again, continue to defend. They'll do that. Let's see if they can solve the riddle on the offensive end.
That was Rollins Aligbe, the true freshman from the Minneapolis area, coming up with the strip on the preseason player of the year. Aligbe now strepped the other way. Good effort by Davion Sykes to keep it alive. Kennard Davis stepped out just in front of the Charleston bench.
And what
turnovers.
Turnovers that's what's killing Southern Illinois. And it was the Achilles heels coming in. It's been the Achilles heel in practice and even in their exhibitions. And what's going to slow them down is they're going to have to settle down and just take open shots. College of Charleston is just daring them to shoot open shots. They're clogging the paint. They're trying to control the paint. And they're dominating the paint on the offensive end.
That's 4 now for Ante Berzovic.
It's a tough matchup for Aligbe. Your first college game. And you got to go up against Ante Berzovic.
Nice pass there. Steffi finding Sykes. Basket in the foul for Davion Sykes, the junior from Texas. A Texas State transfer off the feed from a kid who played at Texas Tech last year.
Just a great job of catching and ripping and driving. And again, they want to play in the paint as well. College of Charleston is just doing a better job of it on the offensive end. They don't have a guy that they can just give the ball to and just play through right now. They're trying to figure that out. Will it be Elliott? Will it be Moo Davis? Like when Mayo comes in, like who is the guy that they're going to run their offense through? And they're trying to figure that out. And right now, they want to play through their bigs and post up inside, or they'll even post up their guards. But they're trying to figure out the pecking order right now.
Sykes able to convert on the 3-point play. Back to a 4-point ball game. 6.5 gone here in the first at the Sanford Pentagon in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Stonkus finding Fulton inside. Mayo with the defense. Fulton now in his second year with the program, finding Berzovic, the big man for 3 from the wing.
If he's knocking down threes, you can't guard him because he has everything else. And they have to figure out how they want to guard that ball screen. They don't want to switch. They're trying to stay body to body, and it was a simple reject, big slips, and you got to get to him. 6'11", 6'10", with that release point that high.
7 points in the first 7 minutes for Berzovic.
And they're running out. He's responsible even through more than that because the attention that he's drawing.
Jones traveled with it this time. Berzovic, by the way, 3 for 3 in this first half. His only misses from the free throw line. A moment ago, Southern committing their 4th turnover of the half.
And they'll settle down some, too. This is the opening day of college basketball. You've been practicing for months. Everybody's ready to play someone else. You're going to see some level of anxiety as you start. Let's see if they can just settle down here and get to playing some smart basketball.
Antoine Massey inside, the JUCO transfer from New Mexico on the finish.
Steffi with another great pass.
That's what they want to do.
Yeah.
They can pound the ball inside, start playing through their bigs and the posts the way they really want to play, and then occasionally mix in the matchups with their guards.
It looked a lot better. Their offense looks a lot better with Steffi out there as a supplementary ball handler, right? Just a passer who can move the ball.
And he's known as a shooter. You know, now he struggled on this end of the floor as the foul is called against him there. But this team is struggling for an offensive identity. He comes in with the reputation as a shooter, so the threat of him knocking down a shot will even open up the paint even more.
Steffi, a 4-star prospect out of high school in the Dallas area. Spent a season in Lubbock. Didn't quite work out there. A chance for a fresh start in Carbondale. Is foul sending Jackson Pruncy to the line, the freshman from Charlotte.
It's going to be a strong Charlotte presence in Charleston with Jeff McGinnis, isn't there?
Absolutely will. He's done a great job there with his AAU program, and I often thought he was one of the better, circuit coaches around, and was wondering if he would ever make the jump. And he told me himself early today he wasn't sure if he was actually going to do that or not, but what a great addition to a great staff of Chris Mack.
Elijah Elliott's on the blow-by and the easy lay-in.
I think early on, Elliott just needs to be a scorer. This team is struggling right now, trying to find its identity offensively. He can flat out score the basketball. He had 21 points in their exhibition against North Park. He needs to get going early.
Berzovic has had it going since the opening tip. 9 now. Elliott quick to the 10 at the other end, though. Great response.
This is how they want to play for Southern Illinois. They want to get it out quick, push tempo. That's the type of – let him figure out managing a game later on. Right now, he's notorious for being a bucket getter. Let him go get buckets until the rest of the team settles down.
Elliott had 40 points last year in a game against Stephen F. Austin. As Fulton comes right back with a deep triple. The lead right back to 8. Feels like every time SIU has gotten it back within a couple of buckets, Charleston with the immediate answer at the other end.
They can't find an answer for Bertrovic. They don't know how to guard him. He just hit the 3 last possession. You close out. He drives you. He's scoring in the post. He's just executing at a high level at all 3 levels on the court right now.
5 to shoot. Steffi had to throw it up. Fouled on the floor as we will step away. 10:51 to go in the first. 8-point lead for the Cougars. Ante Berzovic and company showing their mettle early in the opener. Berzovic with 9. Cougars on top early.
Would you be surprised to find out that the Field of 68 is home to more than 35 podcasts? More than 25 team-specific podcasts that are hosted by the people that know what fans want the most. The Goodman and Humble podcast, the DTF podcast, the A10 Insider podcast, and the Mountain West podcast. But wait, there's even more. The Field of 68 will be launching the ACC Insider podcast this year. Subscribe to this channel and come along for the ride.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can know from player to coach, from the ground to the sky.
So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of Salukis. Capture this moment and go forward together.
As one of the nation's strongest financial organizations, First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card have the strength to do good. We support nearly 700 organizations and nonprofits. Our employees give more than 30,000 volunteer hours annually. And we are continually seeking ways to make South Dakota an even better place to live. It's the Premier way. First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card.
Eight-point ball game, Charleston and Southern. It is the Cougars who have been efficient so far, 8 of 11 on the floor. That's the kind of offense that Chris Mack has to be pleased with in the first game of the season, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen everything go through Ante Berzovic.
Yes.
And you know what? He's scoring. He's putting the ball on the floor. He's playing tough. He's finishing through contact. And you know what else he's doing? He's finding other guys. He's opening it up for all his teammates right now.
You have to figure out how you want to guard him right now. I think either you send double teams to him. He's shown you he can pass. He throws it out, gets a 3. You press him on the perimeter. He drives by you, and he's scoring on whoever he wants to in the post. I think you got to choke down on the other guys and just let him try. If he goes for 30, he goes for 30. But you can't let him control the game and get other guys involved either via assist, he's screening, you don't know how to guard it because you don't want to switch. I just think you got to try to lock down on the other guys and just let him go.
Sykes, another and one opportunity. Lazar Djokovic, the big 6'11 sophomore from Serbia, guilty of the personal.
Yeah, Djokovic is a guy who, when you see him a month from now, he is going to look completely different. 6'11", transferred from Xavier, had a finger injury that kept him out for much of last season, and then had a knee injury and a finger injury in the offseason this year. So he's practiced for 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's all he's been able to practice, so he's going to be rusty.
And he's another big with size and skill and just does a lot of different things on the basketball court. And I think talent for talent, he may be the best prospect on the floor.
Oh, he may be a first-round pick. When
Yeah.
it's all said and done, if he's patient.
Yeah.
And again, right now, listen, the game's moving fast for him right now.
But he has everything you want. He has all the skill set to pass, to finish, can shoot it as well, but he just hasn't been able to practice and play much.
And what Chris Mack told me is going to be key for Lazar is those plays. When he doesn't finish, getting frustrated and being able to get on to the next play, Randolph.
Yeah.
And how important that's going to be for, instead of, again, not being able to deal with it and it affecting him the rest of the half.
Sykes off the mark from the outside. SIU right at 50% from the floor. They've shot it well. It's been this end that's given them trouble as Smith able to kick it around.
Their defensive intensity is starting to pick up right now. They're pressuring the basketball. They're not letting the catch as easy as they were in the first 3 or 4 minutes of the game. And they started out shooting the basketball poorly. They were one of their first 4 or 5 shots, and then now they're starting to settle in, and they're doing a better job of attacking the paint and beating the Cougars off the dribble, creating mismatch.
Here is Fulton. Better option might have been to take the layup that time. Mayo with the defense. It'll stay with the Cougars.
They're starting to hang their identity. They've got some deflections. They've got some steals. This is a really good defensive team. They may not know their offensive identity yet, but they are really good and really active on the basketball. And they haven't played great the first few minutes, but as you can see there, they're defending, and they're only down 5 here early, midway through the first half. Just really good on-ball pressure there. And they're starting to pick up and play their level of intensity on the defensive end of the floor.
Timeout on the floor on the inbounds. Charles of Charleston with a 5-point advantage, 9:39 to go in the first. Cougars have led throughout. Southern, though, has stayed within touching distance. I mentioned College of Charleston now under new leadership with Chris Mack. Pat Kelsey led them to back-to-back CAA regular season and postseason championships. Picked to finish second behind Towson in the Coastal this year. There's a Charleston team that won 27 games last year, 15-3 in conference.
They've been dominant. The last 2 years,
yes.
What Pat Kelsey did has been absolutely ridiculous, and that's why he's at Louisville right now. You know, I mean, they're different. Listen,
yes,
Pat Kelsey brought an energy that I'm not sure I've seen with any coach at any level in any sport.
And it's who he is. He doesn't have to fake it. He's just an energetic, passionate guy, and he's grown as a coach, and he puts that in his players, and he instills in his players, and he's at Louisville because of it.
Elliott with the steal. Deba couldn't finish, but the foul comes.
That's what you need to do when you're struggling in the offense. If you're struggling in your half-court offense and you defend like this, you create steals, get out in transition and run. And Elliott's really putting his thumbprint on this game right now, and just his speed is noticeable for getting the ball from end to end.
4 points for Elliott, but he's affecting the game in different ways. A different school every year for the 6'1 senior from Houston.
You know he can score because last year for UTRGV, he had 40 against Stephen F. Austin. So you know he can fill it up. And again, he's got the quickness. We've seen it to cause problems because one issue for Chris Mack was what? Perimeter defense. Athleticism, perimeter defense. And Elliott's been able to show that he can get going, whether it's even in the half court or pushing in transition.
Deba able to get 1 of 2. Really interesting route for Elliott because he was at a D2, then went D1, then went back to JUCO, then back to T1, and now another school here in year number 5 as Djokovic gets his first of the afternoon.
Yeah, there's nothing you could do against that. He gets it that deep. They ran a little Spain action there, received the back screen. They were able to get it to him in the post, and if he gets it that low, there's nothing Massey can do.
Deba off the mark for three. Massey inside, over Djokovic. Antoine Massey, one of the most athletic players on this Southern team.
He is. That's a toughness about him, and he was inserted into the lineup because of the length and the size of the Cougars. And
Scott Nagy said he runs like a deer. Should be in the Olympics, he said.
He did. He said he gets
runner.
from one end of the floor to the other as quick as any big in the country.
He's another player who's coming off a foot injury in the summertime. All 6 of these teams that we have here in Sioux Falls today, so many had different guys that missed extended time in the build-up to the season. How difficult is that as a player when you can't get your full conditioning, can't get your reps prior to opening day?
Well, this is when it hurts you, and it forces you to go deeper in your bench. Sometimes some coaches are stuck on a certain number. They may play 7 or 8 or 9 guys, and when you don't have your main guys, you got to manage the minutes. And you get into this when the games count, you want to just play your stars as much as you possibly can, and if they're not physically ready, you just can't do it.
A.J. Smith fouled on his way to the rim. Alik Bey, the guilty party this time.
That's what A.J. Smith needs to do. That's what he does best. A couple possessions ago, he settled for an early three-pointer that I thought was a little bit ill-advised. To me, big, strong guard. Go to the basket. You can match the physicality of these Southern Illinois wings.
Southern Illinois is trying to do a really good job of getting through the ball screen, and they're so aggressive to get through the screen. They've been susceptible to a couple of rejects, and Cougars have been able to penetrate, get the ball to the rim, either score or get to the foul line once they reject that ball screen.
Chris Smith from the free throw line for Smith, who's now 3 for 4. Djokovic going over the back. Second personal foul on the sophomore. Ante Berzovic set to check back in a moment for Chris Mack.
And that's the rush you talked about, Jeff. When you're not accustomed to that, you commit fouls, and now he's going to have to sit the rest of the half. And for the Cougars, that's 2 starters that now picked up 2 fouls, and Cougars bench getting tested and getting minutes here early.
Both teams in the bonus with 8:26 to go in the first. Looks like some confusion over who's going to take this free throw for the Salukis. And Scott Nagy trying to plead his case. Our officiating crew, Antonio Petty, Brad Ferry, and Ben Wolf, they'll take a look at this just to make sure they got the right guy, and it will be Kennard Davis going to the free throw line.
Officials are talking to Little Moo Davis, saying, hey.
tell us that story. Why is he called Moo?
Well, he said he said that's his dad's name. His dad was he's Big Moo. So I said his dad's name was Moo. And I said, well, now you're Little Moo, Davis. So
you called him Little Moo.
I called him Little Moo. He said everyone else just calls him Moo. But if that's the dad's name, that's the dad's name. As a dad, I'm not going to let him steal his dad's name. He's got to earn that. He's Little Mo until his dad decides to call him Mo. His dad didn't call him Mo.
Davis out of St. Louis. He was one of a number of Salukis who put their name into the portal. He, though, came back.
Yes.
One of just 3 returners. He said, Coach Nagy treats us like men. There's a sense of respect coming from the coaching staff. He coaches us hard, but treats us fair as Fulton takes the drive on Davis. Finds Stonkus for 3. Great hustle again by Jones to keep it alive. A good athlete off the bench for Chris Mack. Fulton does not miss the second opportunity. Second tray for the senior point guard. The lead back up to 6.
One thing that happens, and everybody's fighting when you get an offensive rebound, everyone's not matched up. That's the easiest time analytically to get a 3, and the Cougars take advantage of it.
4 chances at the rim for the Salukis. Alik Bey finally fouled on the 4th try. Free throws on the way for the freshman from the Twin Cities when we return to Sioux Falls and the Pentagon.
What does primary care mean to us? At Sanford Health, it means being there when and where you need it most. It means building a relationship, because when a provider really knows you, they can deliver the best care for every aspect of your health and your life. So what does primary care mean for you? It means understanding your health for today and for where you're headed next. It means a lifetime of care for a lifetime of you.
If you have a question, I'll take the time.
I love being a pharmacist at Lewis Drug because I love helping people.
If you have a question, any question, I'll take the time to answer it.
If you have a question, any question, I'll take the time to answer it.
I'm Mark Griffin, president of Lewis Drug. For 81 years, Lewis Drug has been helping families stay healthy and enjoy life. If you ever have a question, any question, a Lewis pharmacist will take the time. Welcome to Lewis Drug.
There is no sport in America that is more difficult to follow than college basketball. It can be overwhelming. That's where the Field of 68 Daily comes into play. The Daily is your go-to source for injury updates, recruiting news, and transfer portal editions that actually matter. For just $50 a year, get access to the same information that your favorite team's coaching staff is subscribed for. Quality content can be hard to find in the college basketball space. The Daily is here to help you with that.
Spent 2.5 years on the sidelines not coaching college basketball. He was actually doing content with us at the Field of 68, but he decided that he wanted to get back in because he finally felt refreshed. He felt like he had spent some time on the sideline, had a chance to go to his daughter's volleyball matches, to kind of be a dad and be outside of the world of college basketball. And now that he's back in it, he says he's not going to complain about the things that other coaches are complaining about, NIL, the transfer portal. He's back in knowing exactly what he is getting into, and he's going to jump in with both feet. Guys?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Chris Mack, when he first got out, I remember having a lengthy conversation with him, and he said, I'm done. I'm not getting back in. He had a sour taste in his mouth, and the one thing that's really changed, not only did he stay out and obviously got the itch, but with the changing landscape, I thought Chris Mack might be one to fight it, the changes of NIL, of the portal, of everything. Instead, he has completely embraced it.
I think you get a chance to reflect when you get out of it for a little while. You get a chance to say, hey, you know what? And you know, he got a chance. We talked about spend time with his family and his friends, but you missed the game, and I think he wants to get back. He'll adapt. He's too competitive not to adapt, and he's one of the best coaches in the country. You've had that as he got another turnover here.
Elliott able to pick the pocket of Smith and convert at the other end. That's 6 now for Elijah Elliott. Salukis hanging around, just down by 4 midway through the first. That is one of the big themes of the day, of course. Coaches coming back, coaches going to new places.
And one of the things about both of these coaches, they've taken over programs where their expectation is to win. I mean, not just College of Charleston and its success. You're talking about Southern Illinois. They won 19 games a year ago. Yeah. So you're taking over jobs where just winning isn't enough. These teams want to win the conference. They won NCAA Tournament appearances. They're expecting conference championship titles. That's the great thing about this matchup in both teams.
Elliott again able to shake off the defense. He's been a bright spot for Scott Nagy's offense certainly today. Salukis back down by 2. Stonkus though with a quick answer. This has been the difference. Charleston now 5 of 8 from behind the arc. Aleek Bay getting free inside.
What you're seeing now is Elijah Elliott taking over this game.
Yeah.
His speed is a problem. You notice it on the floor. They don't have anybody that can stay in front of him. He's getting anywhere he wants on the floor. He's either scoring it or assisting right now. Last couple of possessions here as he creates another near turnover here.
Yeah, the key for him, get in the lane. It's working.
Yes.
The only 2 shots you've missed are from behind the arc.
You're overthinking it, with the point guard transition. Just play basketball. Beat your man. You get in the play. Help comes find someone else. Worrying about bringing the ball up and being with a quote-unquote pass-first technical point guard. Just be a basketball player. He can score the basketball. Coach wants him to. You'd be crazy not to let him do those things.
He's tired over there.
He
just came out. He's a little gassed. And now it's going to be important to see. Cut it to 3. Yes. These last 6 minutes, can Southern Illinois stay close?
Nearly a turnover forced that time, which would help. Tavares the skip with 4 to shoot. Prunty for 3 in the corner. 6th triple of this first half for the Cougars.
Another triple coming off a double team of Bursavich, and the weak side guy will always be there and be open.
Davis from the baseline. Rebounding battle about even in this first half. The Cougars' proficiency from behind the arc, though, as Prunty does not connect this time. A big reason why they've built this 6-point advantage.
Jeff, I have played against Coach Mack for a very long time, from his Xavier days to Louisville days, and he is actually in a 1-3-1 zone right now. You know.
Never thought we'd have
You would never thought
Yeah.
we'd see that from a Chris Mack coach team. And
Berzovic in double figures now.
Left hand, right hand, facing up, posting up. Man, he can do it all.
quick shot there by Moo Davis. The zone is they're settling in right now, and that's not a strength of theirs, taking quick shots from three. They got to figure out, they got to continue to attack the paint, even in the zone. The zone, they want them in the 1-3-1 to take jump shots. Still got to find a way to get the ball in the paint. Continue to move your body and move the ball.
Mayo able to elevate over Berzovic. Aligbe nearly had the offensive board. Possession, though, will go to Charleston. Salukis got it within two just a moment ago. Now the lead right back up to 8.
Well, we know who was out of the game, and now he's coming right back in, Alex, which obviously Elliott has been the spark and really their primary offense so far. Their wings haven't really produced so far. We thought they would, and they've struggled, but Elliott's kept them in this game.
And their wings are more of downhill drivers, more straight line drivers. They affect the game with their ability to post up. But the size and the bigs inside for College of Charleston is giving them trouble. So you need a guy on the outside to create, and so far Elijah Elliott has been that guy.
Tavares, Daywilk Tavares, second bucket of the afternoon for the sophomore from New Jersey.
And he brings that same ability for the Cougars. I mean, he can be the guy, this sophomore can be the guy that can get his shot off the dribble, has an extra gear that the other guards for the Cougars don't have. And
man, did he call glass there?
I heard it. I heard it, Elijah. He's heating up. He's putting his team on his back here in this first half.
10 for Elliott. Another deep tray for Tavares. His second triple of this game as Massey runs
great
into
pass.
the sophomore guard. Daywilk Tavares a little shaken up on the contact with the Southern big man. His triple a moment ago, though, extending the lead to 11, as big as it's been this afternoon.
Do you need your fix of college basketball analysis at the end of every night during the season? If you crave instant reactions and informed breakdowns, make sure you tune into the Field of 68 After Dark every night with access to the biggest stars in the sport and a cast of characters that includes the likes of Tyler Hansborough, Randolph Childress, John Fanta, John Henson, Terrence Oglesby, Jarrell McNeil, and many, many more. The Field of 68 After Dark is where college basketball happens.
Championships, noise is made here. Memories are made here. Champions win here. The only thing missing here is you. The NCAA Division II Women's Volleyball Championship coming to Sioux Falls, South Dakota this December. Get your seats at ncaa.com/tickets.
A lot of new faces for College of Charleston and for Southern Illinois. Jones, Djokovic, Steffi, just three of a number that are going to have to contribute for both of these teams to have the success we think they can this season.
It's all about the portal this year.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't hit the portal, you're probably not going to get it done. And both these teams with new coaches, you have no choice because you're not going to retain a lot of guys. If you honestly, if you can get a new job and retain like 4 of your top 8, man, you're doing a great job.
And it's great because both coaches actually have different philosophies about the portal. And Max seems to embrace it, what I think is part of his last 2 years. You know, earlier he would have been part of his maturation of a coach, if you dare say. And Nagy is
fighting it.
Just fighting it a little bit, but he's still, again, he's gotten guys. He's embraced it in a sense because he's had to, but he just doesn't like it.
Yeah, he would love to turn back the clock if he could and have college basketball be what it was 5 years ago, because he is concerned about the movement of kids and the graduation and, even NIL and how it impacts these kids. Everybody talks about it impacting in a good way, which it does, but how does some of these kids handle it?
There's a coach we're going to see in our second game who feels the same way, Herb Sendek. And those two both have coached for 30 years.
Right.
Here is Drew Steffi now in the corner. Nearly able to corral his own miss. It'll come to Jones in the end.
Southern Illinois is really looking to be really aggressive and get it from one end of the floor to the next on the offensive end because they struggle shooting it. In the half-court set, they don't have the amount of shooters. This is why, having Elliott or Steffi with the ball is in their hands to make the potential to make shots.
Elijah Elliott continuing to have his way on the offensive end of the floor. 12 points now as the lead is trimmed to 7.
They just can't contain Elliott off the bounce.
Good defensive play as Mayo is banged up off camera. Sykes, acrobatic at the rim. Damian Mayo needs some help here down on the opposite ends. It was a hard collision on the drive with Elijah Jones that put the junior guard from St. Louis on the deck.
This is what they want to do, turn defense into the offense, and they've been able to do that a couple of times, get steals, get out, create opportunities like that, and a lot of contact on the other end of the floor. I don't know if Mayo was hit with the collision trying to come over and take charge. He's grabbing his stomach, and he gets up here. I think it's – I took a charge once, and that's why I never did it again, Jeff. What you see, you get the wind knocked out of you. See, that's why I couldn't come over and rotate and take charges anymore.
No, you weren't on the court. You weren't on the court for your defense, RC.
No. I communicated on what was to be done. I just didn't do it.
Mayo's one of those guys, though, transferred from Missouri State, and he brings toughness.
He's the
just
leader
a
of
junkyard dog.
Yes.
Right, great vocal guy. Just one of those kind of glue guys, right, who's going to bring the toughness that really Scott Nagy wants.
There's Massey now. Antoine Massey with the highlight jam.
Another steal and another breakaway transition layups, and you don't need to worry about half-court offense when you play like that. And fell down again. Now they battle back, and now there's one possession game again.
8-0 run for the Salukis to get right back in this with 2:02 left in the first.
Just a great job there denying the post. They let Bershevich catch it wherever he wanted too many different times. Now they're getting in the passing lane. They're making him extend the catch. That time they were able to create a steal. And if they're going to get back in and take a lead in this game and eventually win it, it's got to be on the defensive end of the floor.
They got a lot of bigs they can rotate in and give some fouls like that. Take some chances.
But that's going to be something to watch as we get in the second half, too. This is a new role for Bershevich. I mean, getting the ball early is not a new thing, but getting it early and often and then getting it late and often is a whole nother story. Conditioning-wise, is he ready for the amount of bodies that's going to be thrown his way? There's a lot of responsibility in being the guy on the scouting report as opposed to one of many.
Berzovic with 1 of 2 from the line. Stonkus and Berzovic combining to take that away from Elliott. Under 2 to play, 4-point ball game. Berzovic inside. Good battle underneath, won by Steffi. Drew Steffi an open look for 3. He's missed a couple from deep. Offensive rebound by Sykes. Massey, who's got 8 in this first half. Berzovic straight up. Jones in transition, stripped by Davis, but got a bit of the arm as well as the ball.
Good defense, which led to offense there. I mean, Berzovic down low, showing some toughness with the block shot, and then he gets it out in transition. And C.J. Fulton, man, you give him a little bit, he's going to find a guy on the break.
Made the best assist-to-turnover ratio in the country last year. He's going to make the right read in finding guys. Great job the possession before. He realized that there was a mix-up in Southern Illinois' defense. Berzovic had a guard on him. He sends him right to the post, throws it over the top. Empty possession, but this gives you the high IQ play that Fulton gives you, even if he doesn't have a lot of numbers. He makes the right play for his team.
And one thing we haven't talked about, Charleston without Darren Boyd.
Yes.
Okay, who could be their best scorer at the end of the day. I know sounds crazy with Brzovic, but he's going to give them perimeter scoring. Terrific shooter, came over, averaged 17 a game from Lipscomb, and he's going to be out another week or so with a knee injury that he's still recovering from last year.
When he gets into conference play and gets in shape, look out. This team will, I think, continue its dominant ways in the CAA.
Couple of chances for the Salukis after several offensive rebounds, but it'll be Charleston basketball. Brzovic another block a moment ago.
I actually thought that looked like it was off Jones there, and a couple of bounces have gone the Cougars' way.
Scott Nagy will call a timeout with 51 seconds left in the half.
They just settled down here to continue to battle and defend it, and they got themselves right back in this game. I mean, Elliott's a big part of that. I think when he's on the floor, they found something in him. It's can he stay fresh and stay on the floor? This is a big team when Elliott's out on the floor and when Bertram's out on the floor for the respective teams.
Now, both of these teams will have scrimmaged and had exhibitions in the build-up, but it's a little bit different when it's for real. How much of this opening half for both of these staffs is just learning your personnel and what works?
I think it's big. Both coaches are looking to see what translates in the game. Yeah. You know, you've had practice, you got exhibitions, and to be honest, Jeff, you know, you guys get bored after a while because they're playing against each other. They can't wait for games to get started. A lot of them get tired early because they're just excited to play someone else, and we've seen the game a run so far here. We'll see if they settle down here as we get in the second half as well.
Charleston is led by as many as 11. Southern now just down by 4. Trying to get a stop. Brzovic. A rare miss from 3 for Charleston in this first half. Now 7 of 14 from behind the arc. The Salukis just 1 of 9 from deep. 3-second difference between game and shot clock here at the end of the opening half. Elijah Elliott with 12 points. Basketball in hand over to Aligbe.
They'll set up in their 1-3-1 here, but they actually have 2-3 zone principles.
Davis got the 3 off in the corner and was fouled by A.J. Smith.
You never want to foul a three-point shooter. It's never a good foul, and it's definitely don't want to foul a guy that struggled from the three-point line as Moo Davis has in his career.
Been a tough start from the field for Moo. 0 of 3 from the floor, 0 of 2 from deep, but he's gotten the job done at the free throw line now. 4 of 5 from the stripe. And he will have another after this as his foot was behind the line.
And when you're struggling from the field, getting to the free throw line is how you get yourself in a rhythm there. And Coach Nagy's encouraging his guys to be more comfortable behind those lines. Line those threes up and take them. It's got a one-point game here.
4 seconds left. Fulton on the drive. Blocked by time by Aligbe. 0.4 left on the clock.
Fulton just trying to get to the basket. Aligbe comes over. Great timing on the block and lets him know, get that out of here.
Look at Brzovic. That will count. Fulton on the inbounds. Brzovic able to flick it up and in at the buzzer. And it'll be College of Charleston going to half with a 3-point advantage. Now the officials will take a look at this. Jeff, at first blush, that looked good out of his hands and in.
It did look good. It did. We'll see what the – yeah, there we go.
I don't think it's close. I think it's definitely a 2-point shot. It's unfortunate time. No one was – usually you want the guy that's defending the inbounder to protect the basket. He didn't in that possession. Those are the little things you got to iron out early. Because it's exactly. A freshman's on the floor. I know he's been taught that and he forgot to do it.
Chris McAdow is standing by with our Rob Doster.
Got Charleston head coach Chris Mack with me. Chris, you got 14 from Ante Brzovic in the first half. What did you see from him?
Well, I mean, he's a terrific player. You know, he's hard to match up with one-on-one. He drew a lot of fouls early on, got us in the bonus. We should have taken a little bit more advantage of it than we did. But, you know, what really hurt us down the stretch was their ability to offensive rebound, and we got to come up with an answer for that.
1-3-1 zone. You learned that in Field of 68 after dark, right?
I don't know where we learned it, but honestly, it came in handy because we couldn't do anything with the man. They got too many times getting in the lane. Again, I referenced the second shots, but regardless of what defense we're playing, we got to do a much better job.
11-2 run to close out the half. What's your message to the team at halftime?
Well, I mean, we put ourselves in really good position. We gave a little bit back, but again, keeping those guys out of the paint and sending a better message when the shot goes up and not give up second shots.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Ron.
Thanks to Coach Mack. His squad with a 3-point advantage going into the break over Southern Illinois. Game 1 of 3 in the Field of 68 opening day showcase. We'll continue from Sioux Falls after this.
If you haven't heard by now, we have partnered with BetMGM for the season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we'll have special offers for the listeners and the viewers. Download the BetMGM app and sign up using the bonus code FIELD. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you'll receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets. Go download the BetMGM app and use the code FIELD today.
What does primary care mean to us? At Sanford Health, it means being there when and where you need it most. It means building a relationship, because when a provider really knows you, they can deliver the best care for every aspect of your health and your life. So what does primary care mean for you? It means understanding your health for today and for where you're headed next. It means a lifetime of care for a lifetime of you.
Would you be surprised to find out that the Field of 68 is home to more than 35 podcasts? More than 25 team-specific podcasts that are hosted by the people that know what fans want the most. The Goodman and Humble podcast, the DTF podcast, the A10 Insider podcast, and the Mountain West podcast. But wait, there's even more. The Field of 68 will be launching the ACC Insider podcast this year. Subscribe to this channel and come along for the ride.
All right, back here, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, here at the Pentagon, where Charleston leads 45-42 over Southern Illinois at halftime. And pleased to welcome in the head coach of the Sioux Force Sky Force, and Dan Basacchio. Is that the correct pronunciation? Yeah. I want to make sure I didn't screw it up here. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Well, I really appreciate it. Happy to be here. Obviously, the energy is awesome already. It's not surprising that at 10 a.m. in Sioux Falls that the energy would be electric already. But no, I'm just excited to be here with you guys.
So you just started?
Yes.
How many games? One?
No games yet. We just had a couple scrimmages in Minnesota against a couple other teams.
Good.
Nice round robin. Just a good opportunity to see how we're doing. Coming out of training camp, you always assume, everybody assumes they're going to be great. So it was just good to kind of play somebody else instead of ourselves.
Someone told me you guys did really well in your exhibition the other day. I got a little insider inside the team right now that's trying to, it gave me the inside scoop. You got to be pleased with what you guys did on the defensive end.
Well, I can't imagine who would have told you that.
No, I don't know why. I won't tell.
Just so the people watching understand, Randolph's son, Brandon, is on the Skyforce team. So he's got a little bit of a mole there.
Well, I told him, before this, I said, look, just because, I'm going to be talking with your dad tomorrow doesn't mean I'm not going to be on you about running the offense and competing hard on defense. But no, overall, we just wanted to play connected and work together and collaborate, and then just above all compete. You're not going to be able to get all of our offense right and all of our stuff right away. We just came together last week, but all of those stuffs you can kind of control and take care of no matter what.
I mean, listen, for you, working as a part of the Miami Heat organization, you're not going to get better than that. As you kind of learn everything and are getting experience, what do you even when you're around Spo and Pat Riley and training camp, what's the biggest thing that they do that you just look at that culture and say, like, well, here's why they're always successful?
The first one starts with accountability. I'm extremely blessed and thankful to be a part of this organization. I couldn't ask to be a part of a better organization, but it's just the accountability. Day in and day out, what can you do to get better? As a staff, as a player, collectively as an organization. If you do that, and if it's even just 1%, those are the things that then after a couple of days, a couple of weeks, a couple of months, it really adds up.
You're a part of one of the more stable organizations in the NBA. I mean, specifically to you, what's the impact on you, your coaching or your personal life, that this organization has done for you?
Development. I think one of the big things day in and day out is that you know exactly what's expected of you. They challenge you to grow. In the video room, so I started out as a video intern years ago, And one of the best things I say is the blessing and a curse working for a former video coordinator in Coach Spo. He's going to challenge you to the nth degree. He's going to challenge you to be even better than the last video coordinator, even better than he was. And that's something that I'm extremely appreciative every single day.
So I want to know, what are you challenging Brandon on already? what do we know? Can we align here?
Yeah, let's see. For Brandon, the biggest thing is obviously as the point guard, as you guys know, you got to be the floor general. Yeah. You got to run the offense. You got to get everybody organized, and then on defense, you got to be an absolute ball hawk.
Hey, you got my permission to jack him up if you need, so don't worry about that. You can grab him a little bit.
You know who you're talking to here.
Hey,
yeah, of course.
He's never played a defensive possession.
Hey, I did the assignment. My job was to funnel them to whoever was the big guy inside.
Well, I'll say this: Brandon was in the fourth quarter alone. He already had probably more deflections than you had your whole career. So we're extremely happy about that. 4 total deflections, one of the top leaders on the team. So we're extremely excited about that.
No, he's enjoying his time here. Keep pushing him.
Well, listen, Dan, we appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for hanging out today. We got 2 more later today, and we'll be back after this. We might have, I don't know, we're going to get your kid here? We're going to get Brandon over here in a little bit?
Possible.
Give a little father-son. I can't wait to see how you break down his game.
If you want to change the world, you need to change your world. Breathtaking, wave-making, comfort zone crushing, adrenaline pumping, smile-inducing, community-building, thought-altering, horizon broadening change.
Today?
Today? That's enough.
Tomorrow? Who knows?
College of Charleston. Extraordinary happens here.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can go from player to coach, from the ground to the sky.
So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of Salukis. Capture this moment and go forward together.
There is no sport in America that is more difficult to follow than college basketball. It can be overwhelming. That's where the Field of 68 Daily comes into play. The Daily is your go-to source for injury updates, recruiting news, and transfer portal additions that actually matter. For just $50 a year, get access to the same information that your favorite team's coaching staff is subscribed for. Quality content can be hard to find in the college basketball space. The Daily is here to help you with that.
Halftime continues here at the Sanford Pentagon in Sioux Falls. It's the Field of 68 opening day showcase. College of Charleston with a 3-point edge over the Southern Illinois Salukis. The Cougars with the advantage for the majority of the opening 20 minutes, but a good back and forth battle. Both teams going on runs down the stretch. By the way, this is a revolving share of people at this desk. Alex Sidett, Randolph Childress, Rob Doster joining us. Rob, what did you make of the opening 20?
Well, first and foremost, I just want to say congratulations on finally having a basketball knower here in the booth with you guys. I'm going to kick up the basketball IQ here. What I was really impressed with in that first half was how well Charleston's offense was clicking, right? Like we saw them practice yesterday, and it didn't look like this, Randolph. It looked more, I thought there was going to be more rust. I thought there was going to be more of a learning curve, and they're coming out here banging threes. We got Daywilk Tavares coming out here getting buckets. I thought that they looked like a well-oiled machine, which to me is really impressive when you have a new coaching staff, so many new players, so many different pieces, so many guys that like may or may not understand the English that you're getting out of Chris Mack, right? I thought it was really impressive how they came together.
I'm not surprised yet. I thought this would be a really tight, competitive game, and it was, and I think it continued to be that way. I think what we need to see here is that when they settle down, what the adjustments that these teams will make. I mean, Southern Illinois has sped up a little bit. They're still trying to find their identity in the offensive end, but their defensive end picked up. And when we thought the Cougars were struggling in the offensive end, while Bercevich, then Fulton jumps up. Tavares gets in and he gets going. So their teams, they're deep. But right now, we're going to find out a little bit more from the other guys as we get into the second half of this game.
Yeah, and I thought SIU did a really good job creating offense out of effort.
Yes.
Right? Like forcing turnovers and getting in transition, getting to the offensive glass and getting second chances. putting their head down and getting to the rim, drawing a foul, and get to the free throw line. And I thought that was something that they did really well, and that's why they're back in the game.
Yeah, 11 points for the Salukis on the fast break, none for the Cougars in that first half. As we look at highlights from the opening 20 between these two programs from opposite sides of the country, a lot of energy.
That played out in that first half. The guy that I think is the X factor, Antoine Massey, difference maker, athlete, athleticism. He brings that energy, and it's something that is going to be difficult for some of these guys on Charleston to match up with.
Massey with 8 points, a couple of steals in the front court for SIU. They'll need a little more from him on the defensive end here in this second half. 3-point ball game. Cougars on top of the Salukis. More to come here from the Sanford Pentagon after this.
At NCAA Championships, noise is made here. Memories are made here. Champions win here. The only thing missing here is you. The NCAA Division II Women's Volleyball Championship, coming to Sioux Falls, South Dakota this December. Get your seats at ncaa.com.
Do you need your fix of college basketball analysis at the end of every night during the season? If you crave instant reactions and informed breakdowns, make sure you tune into the Field of 68 After Dark every night with access to the biggest stars in the sport and a cast of characters that includes the likes of Tyler Hansborough, Randolph Childress, John Fanta, John Henson, Terrence Oglesby, Jarrell McNeil, and many, many more. The Field of 68 After Dark is where college basketball happens.
Recently, the college basketball community tragically lost one of its rising stars in the coaching ranks. University of South Florida head coach Amir Abdur-Rahim passed away on October 24th at just 43 years old. As we'll witness in venues across the country this week, a moment of silence was observed prior to opening tip today between Charleston and Southern Illinois in remembrance of Amir. Back to the Pentagon for the second half after this.
Do you need your fix of college basketball analysis at the end of every night during the season? If you crave instant reactions and informed breakdowns, make sure you tune into the Field of 68 After Dark every night with access to the biggest stars in the sport and a cast of characters that includes the likes of Tyler Hansborough, Randolph Childress, John Fanta, John Henson, Terrence Oglesby, Jarrell McNeil, and many, many more. The Field of 68 After Dark is where college basketball happens.
At NCAA Championships, noise is made here. Memories are made here. Champions win here. The only thing missing here is you. The NCAA Division II Women's Volleyball Championship, coming to Sioux Falls, South Dakota this December. Get your seats at ncaa.com/tickets.
Welcome back to Sioux Falls Heritage Court at the Sanford Pentagon. Southern Illinois of the Missouri Valley picked to finish 7th in the Valley this season under new head coach Scott Nagy. Oh, Antoine Massey, a little off balance on that attempt. Great roll to the rim, but could not finish. A great chance to get a little closer to College of Charleston, who has led throughout. Daywilk Tavares now 4 for 4 today, 3 for 3 from deep. The hot shooting from behind the arc continuing for the Cougars.
And what the Cougars do is they just put so much pressure on you because they almost play inverted. They play with their bigs on the perimeter. They're so comfortable with their ability to pass. It just opens up everything for their guards.
Tavares, a player we did not expect to start today with 11 so far in his first game in the black and maroon.
We haven't seen a lot of Hensley there. He was on the bench with 2 fouls early, so now he comes back in, and Southern Illinois kind of got it going the end of the first half there. Could they take the lead? I mean, just the fact that they're in this game right now is a little bit of a surprise.
Elijah Elliott, a big reason why this is a conversation. Just the second tray of the afternoon for the Salukis. Elliott's big day continues. 15 now. Djokovic inside. Tough finish over Hensley.
And that's what they don't. This is why their bigs create so many issues, because that time they got caught in the switch. You can't switch a pick and roll with these guys because their bigs' ability to punish you inside.
Deba. This is a good sign for Scott Nagy to see a couple of threes go down early after they were ice cold from distance in the first half.
Now, if they start knocking down threes, look out, because the game plan for the Cougars is to allow those guys to take those threes and keep them out of the paint. So if they start knocking down threes, then expect the zone to come out soon.
Do not let the ball go inside. That was the message yesterday in practice as Fulton sees that ball go in and out. Good first half for C.J. Fulton, 8 points to go along with 4 assists. Nice take again. Deba tying this ball game up at 50.
There's nothing one of those off-balance shots, Jeff. Jump off the same leg, same side shot here. Another turnover.
SIU's defense forcing the 12th giveaway of the game as Hensley misfires from downtown. That would have given Southern their first lead of the game. They have not led throughout. A.J. Smith. Fulton. Djokovic inside. Fouled on the way. Massey and Hensley getting their hands up on the big man.
That's what they want Djokovic to do. They want him to be able to put it on the floor, try to get towards the basket and finish around the basket. They don't want him settling for threes, which he's kind of fallen in love with a little bit lately in practice.
And I think both of their bigs in the past have had the tendency of doing that. I think that's something Coach Mack has really been advocating for these guys, to try to get in the paint as much as they can. And Percevic has done a better job of it early. And we talked about Lazar Djordjevic has the ability to be the same type of impact player and with a higher upside. He just hasn't developed that level of consistency yet.
As Jeff mentioned earlier, Djokovic in his first season with the College of Charleston from Serbia. No relation to 24-time Grand Slam champion Novak Djokovic, who's just from up the road in Belgrade. Lazar from a town about 40 miles south of that.
I feel like there's a few Djokovic's in Serbia, Alex.
There may be one or two in that part of the world. Just want to make sure we're all on the same page. This is not Novak's nephew or something. As Deba, again, able to finish unconventional at the rim over Djokovic. Salukis on top by 1 for the first time today.
Now, their wings are really big and really physical, so they will be able to drive and get to the paint.
Diba nearly had the steal. Prunty will collect.
And it looks like those wings are getting some confidence now.
CJ Fulton. Slow start from behind the arc for Charleston in this second half. Kennard Davis in transition. Southern Illinois, a 12-6 run out of the break. Fulton on the drive off balance. He led to the free throw line. It was Elliott on the personal.
It's a great job again. Getting a stop, pushing in transition, and this is what they want to play. They want to get stops, push and score as quickly in transition as possible. They've been able to come up this second half and knock down a couple of threes, but that's the way they want to play. Get it from one end of the defensive end of the floor to the offensive end of the floor as fast as possible.
You know, it's interesting. Scott Nagy told us that he didn't know who he was going to play in this game going in, how many guys he was going to play. He's played 9. He's played 9 so far. He hasn't had to go quite as deep as he thought he might.
Fulton's 2 free throws giving him double figures now, joining Berzovic and Tavares over 10. Lead down to 1 as Davis will go right back to the free throw line on the drive.
Davis and Diba are overpowering the wings as they drive. They're just 6'5", 6'6" guys. They're physical. And when they feel your body and they get beside them, it's over. You know, you got to stay in front of these guys, and either they're drawing fouls or they're finishing at the rim.
I feel like it's an advantage they didn't take advantage of enough in the first half. The big, strong wings.
Yeah.
They just – you look at Charleston's wings, and again, other than A.J. Smith, they're not big and physical and strong like that. That's where they're missing Devo Darren Boyd.
Kennard Davis now 8 for 9 from the free throw line. He's got 10 points. The third Saluki to hit that mark. 56-53, 3-point ball game. Berzovic. Basket and the foul. He continues to be a matchup problem inside. He led to the free throw line with a chance to tie things up after this. Ante Berzovic and the Cougars in a fight with the Salukis here on opening day.
At NCAA Championships, noise is made here. Memories are made here. Champions win here. The only thing missing here is you. The NCAA Division II Women's Volleyball Championship coming to Sioux Falls, South Dakota this December. Get your seats at ncaa.com/tickets.
Do you need your fix of college basketball analysis at the end of every night during the season? If you crave instant reactions and informed breakdowns, make sure you tune into the Field of 68 After Dark every night with access to the biggest stars in the sport and a cast of characters that includes the likes of Tyler Hansborough, Randolph Childress, John Fanta, John Henson, Terrence Oglesby, Jarrell McNeil, and many, many more. The Field of 68 After Dark is where college basketball happens.
As one of the nation's strongest financial organizations, First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card have the strength to do good. We support nearly 700 organizations and nonprofits. Our employees give more than 30,000 volunteer hours annually. And we are continually seeking ways to make South Dakota an even better place to live. It's the Premier way. First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card.
4 minutes gone in the second half. A great start to the second for the squad from Carbondale, Illinois. After a tough shooting first half at times, the Salukis starting to fill it up here, and they've been more aggressive, Randolph.
They have been. They turned it up on the defensive end, and that's kept them in this game, and it's why they have the lead. But they've come out the second half, and they've knocked down a couple of jump shots. But as long as they continue to defend, and I think they like the pace. The concern that you got to have if you're watching this game with the Cougars is, can Bershevich continue this pace for 40 minutes? Because, again, this is a new role for him. And let's see where he is in the last couple minutes of this game, because when things break down, they're trying to play through him through the post. And as we talked about with SIU, they have bodies that they can throw at him. So let's just see where his conditioning is early here in the season.
He has played 21 of the 24 minutes so far this afternoon. He's got 16 points on 7 of 10 shooting. And now he has tied this basketball game up at 56.
And you're talking about a guy, he averaged 23 minutes a game a year ago. He hasn't played a ton of 35-minute games where the offense kind of flows through him. Kelsey's offense, the ball moves and everybody touches it. He has been the focal point of the Cougars offense here.
Elliott has been that for Southern, 15 points for him. Managed to get it to Davis with 4 to shoot. SIU now 2 of 4 from behind the arc in this half after going 1 of 9 from deep in the first. The Salukis 5 of 8 from the floor after halftime. They forced some turnovers. They trailed by as many as 11 in the opening 20. They'll find themselves tied at 56 with the squad from the CAA. Berzovic double teamed. It'll stay with Charleston.
They're doing a great job of, they're doubling now, but they're waiting until he starts putting it on the floor, and then they're coming. As opposed to, it's a lot easier to pick you apart if you give them with a lot, attack with a live dribble.
It's a third on Hensley right there.
He's battling inside, but it's just a foul trouble, and you got to do your work early. Was expecting a run-up ball screen, and instead, Trojkovic ducked it inside. He got pinned in too deep, and
so Hensley to the bench, and now Massey picks up one on the inbounds.
This is a physical team. This SIU team is really, really physical, and Massey picks up his fourth foul there, and that's big. He's been so active, and what he means defensively, because he can guard all 5 guys. That's a big loss there. Let's see how long. I mean, it's early in the season. It's 15 minutes to go in this second half. That's a lot of time to get through with a player with 4 fouls.
And so Massey with 4, Hensley with 3. Rollins Aligbe, who's on now, also has 3. Good cut inside, and the finish. Jackson Prunty, the freshman, getting loose.
You got to play with Bershevich down. You can't let him see the double team coming. He sat there and baited and waited on the cutter.
Aligbe could not finish at the other ends, and the basketball would go to the Cougars.
You can see why Scott Nagy likes Aligbe, what he's going to be, right? I mean, he's just, listen, right now I think, again, the game's moving a little quick for him. He's missed a couple right around the basket, but big, physical.
Berzovic inside.
What do you do? What do you do now? Because you're running out of bodies.
You're running out of bodies. You got to front. You got to try something different. You got to front him. He's just getting it too deep, and he turns over that shoulder. But he also, as we saw the previous possession, he loves the quick spin baseline going over the opposite shoulder. So you just have to try to deny him the ball.
Charleston building a 4-point advantage. Aligbe fouled by Djokovic. That is the 3rd personal on the sophomore.
Now, I think both of those guys have lost their protection inside. I mean, meaning Massey on one end and Djokovic on the other. Now they got a guard. And this is what I mean when I say about Berzovic being that guy, because now there's nowhere to hide defensively. As the center, you're going to be involved in every ball screen. And then on the offensive end, we got to play through you. So we're going to see. He's starting to tug his shorts a little bit. Let's see if he can keep this level of intensity and this high level of playing up.
60-56. Charleston up by 4. Davis could not handle the inbounds, but it will stay with SIU. It's too early in the season to say this is a unique lineup for Scott Nagy, but Aligbe, the true freshman, playing the 5. Davion Sykes at 6'6", will play the 4, along with Davis.
I think this is the lineup that both teams are comfortable with when they get to the league play. I think the difference is College of Charleston and Chris Mack wants to play bigger. I think it forced Southern Illinois to change into a bigger lineup. But this smaller lineup is really how they want to play when the Missouri Valley Conference League's play starts.
Elliott will try and knock down another tray. Elijah Elliott's 18 now. 8 of 10 from the floor, 2 of 4 from deep. The lead trimmed to 1.
Can you say heat check? I think it's about time. I think the next one's going up.
Here is Tavares. First miss of the day. Berzovic was there, but a shove in the back from the senior big man from Charleston will give the ball back to the Salukis.
I think the zone's coming here for the Cougars. It just can't contain Elliott off the dribble, and I think Chris Mack feels here we go, going to the 1-3-1 here, but they play it as the wings as a 2-3.
And it almost creates a turnover. There's a scrum inside the paint. A tie-up possession will go to the Cougars. Chris Mack said that they used that zone to great effect in the first half. We needed it, he said to Rob Doster going into the break.
Yes, they need it because, again, they're going to – and this is going to be an ongoing thing with them all year long. They're going to have an issue containing quick guards off the bounce, and you need to mix it up the game. You got length, you got size, and the best way to protect those bigs inside. I mean, Djorkovic is 3 fouls already in the half. He's out. I don't know how they'll be able to play without Berzovic, and so this zone allows them a chance to use their length and protect them from foul trouble.
Ante Berzovic, the preseason player of the year in the CAA with the basketball.
Look at this physical defense. They're just blowing up the ball screens, getting through. Look at this defensive on the ball.
Tavares breaking it down. It'll be Davis, though, coming across on the foul.
I think Coach Nagy's got a reason to be upset. I think he comes across here. He goes vertical. I don't think that's a foul. I think that's a no initiated by the offensive player, and Moo Davis there, the bad end of a call there. I thought he went straight vertical and shouldn't have been a foul.
All I know is if that was you instead of Tavares, you'd be complaining for the foul.
Well, I'd have flopped at the floor and tried to make it intentional. Let's be clear about it there.
So you're saying he may not be the actor.
I'm awarding good defense when I see it. And if it's me, I want the call. I mean,
Tavares has given him great minutes.
He has. And they're going to need him until Boyd gets going because he's showing us, again, he's the guy for the Cougars on the perimeter that can break his man down. And Berzovic is going to need help.
13 points now to that point for Tavares. A good contingent of College of Charleston fans, by the way, have made the trip. They're on their feet and they're cheering their defense now as Elliott misses the 3. But an errant pass by Jones in transition will gift the ball right back to the Salukis.
I'm so glad to be over here with you guys and not coaching off a play like that. If you can look over and see Chris Mack's face when that turnover happened, I thought a blood vessel was going to pop in his head. He was so upset.
You know Chris so well, Jeff. Like, this is a guy that is so competitive as Steffi, unable to connect from deep.
Yeah, he's a guy who would coach his son, his son's football game or basketball game, and, come out of that. If they didn't win, he wouldn't be very happy. So Chris is obviously back in the sidelines at a job that is one of the best mid-major jobs in America. Yes. I remember talking to Charleston AD Matt Roberts, and he wasn't sure he could get him. I mean, again, a lot of people thought Chris Mack, that might be it. And Vanderbilt went in a different direction. And Chris Mack was there for the College of Charleston. It's been a great marriage.
And not a better fit coming off the success of Kelsey with the connection between Kelsey and Mack. Many people don't know their connection as Skip Prosser's proteges, and got to throw him out alma mater because they both were at Wake Forest as well. So I've been waiting to throw that in there. They got the Wake Forest connection.
Randolph's even got the gold tie and the black going on today.
There you go.
Those two with Skip Prosser at Wake from 01 to 04. Well, Mayo now shaken up as he makes the drive. Foul against Elijah Jones as we will step away. 11:36 left in the second. 3-point ball game here in Sioux Falls.
We do good in all the details, through all the difficulties.
We do good with every appointment, every conversation, every treatment. We do good for every person.
Because no matter what we do here,
Amra artistically. Ito pasada yika izloka.
Now think of all the good you can do if you join us.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can go from player to coach, from the ground to the sky.
So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of Salukis. Capture this moment and go forward together.
Elijah Elliott transferred into the SIU program from UT Rio Grande Valley over the offseason. He averaged 17 points there. One of the things that Scott Nagy was trying to emphasize during the summer with Elijah was getting him to be more of a true point guard and a pure point guard. But you can see today the bucket getting is coming out. There's going to be times this season where they need him to go out there and be the offense, and we are seeing that from Elijah today.
Yeah, to Rob's point, Elijah Elliott, 8 of 11 from the floor, 18 points, one of 3 Salukis in double figures. Still, they trail Charleston by 3, just as they did at the half. A really physical game, especially of late. Both of these teams being aggressive, going to the rim, not showing much rust in the first game of the season.
Yeah, and that's the two coaches. That's what they preach. That's what their identity has been. Chris Mack, obviously, starting that at Xavier when he became the head coach when Sean Miller left, and Scott Nagy doing it here at South Dakota State. That's what they want to start with to build their cultures.
And we thought that yesterday, watching both teams, that they just were physical. And I think Southern Illinois, they are extremely physical. It's like they foul. They're so aggressive. They foul so much that officials can't call it. And, you know, you're going to have to ice down when you're done playing these guys. And I'll say this. From the eye test, there's no way this is the 7th best team in the Missouri Valley.
And they're only going to get better.
Berzovic, that's the league base 4th.
And that's a scouting report error. If you know when you play against Berzovic, he loves the quick spin baseline. And that's the second time he's gotten that and drew another foul.
So Massey and Aligbe, both with 4 personals in the Southern Illinois front court. Hensley is back on with 3. Berzovic to the free throw line.
Now Jorge Marino comes in and JUCO transfer in, and he comes in now, and they like him a lot. He's got great hands and feet, but just not a ton of experience in the system yet. And let's see if he could just come in and be physical now and continue to pound the glass.
He is 6'11", provides that size inside. A former soccer goalie in his native Mexico. Can you imagine trying to score a goal against
No, I couldn't.
that man? Moreno trying to finish, fouled on the way up. Not a lot of net to aim for when big number 25 was standing on the goal line.
How about that? You get in, you're not even in 5 seconds. He's not even sweating. His first possession down, he gets the ball and goes to finish. And you want to play off your guards when you get in a game like that. But he looked good in practice yesterday.
Yep.
And
Scott Nagy said, if we need a bucket down low, this is the guy we probably actually throw the ball to.
he says he has great hands and feet, and that free throw there, he might have cracked the glass on the other side of that one. But again, he just got in the game. You know, you just hope to go 1 for 2 here. And
Moreno unable to connect on those 2 attempts. 63-61. The score remains. Charleston up by 2. They led by 3 at the half. 11 to go in game 1 of 3 in the Field of 68 opening day showcase from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Berzovic. Steffi able to keep it alive.
That's actually a great job by Marino. We talked about him jokingly about the free throw line, but he did a great job because of his size. Bergevich can't back him down, and he ended up pushing him further away, and that jump hook's a little short. So let's see the adjustment that he makes guarding him now that he realizes he's going to have a hard time backing him in the paint.
Fulton off the curl. Moreno trying to defend. The shifty point guard. Brzovic inside. Double teamed. Basket and the foul. 22 for Ante Brzovic. How good is this?
Yeah, I mean, just use this quickness again and the penetration. I mean, by C.J. Fulton there, and he gets it too deep. There's nothing you can do when he gets his hand that deep because he'll turn over either shoulder. And again, you got a guy that's just got in the game in Marino. I think they're going to continue to go through him. You got to take advantage of a guy that hasn't played much this year and is just getting in this game in the second half.
Three-point opportunity for Brzovic that he converts. 23 now for the senior. Brzovic, a two-time all-conference performer in his previous 2 seasons with College of Charleston, as Moreno, active on the offensive glass, gets his first D1 bucket.
That's all they need from him. Just finish and defend and rebound. Make it tough for Brzovic.
Yes.
The floater from Fulton drops on the other ends. 10 points now for C.J. Fulton.
Yeah, I thought it was a good job on the offensive end there, not settling against the zone. They've had some bad possessions against that 1-3-1, and that time they attacked the rim. And one rule you want to see when you tell your guard to drive is against any length or shot blockers is don't get it blocked and let the big come in and clean it up, and that's what happened in the last possession.
Damian Mayo heading back to the free throw line. Third foul on Brzovic. Chance for the 6'3" junior guard, who spent last season with Missouri State with his new teammate Tyler Bay, who was also there, those 2 roommates this year in Carbondale. Mayo now 3 for 3 from the line.
Hadn't scored from the field yet, but the emotional leader of this group is. We need him to stay in and be effective in these last 10 minutes if they want to get the win here.
You see Brzovic now on the bench with those 3 fouls. We'll see how that changes the equation for Charleston in the half court.
Where does the offense come from is the key now with this group.
Might be from this man, Tavares, the shimmy shake. The Djokovic inside. Couldn't quite muscle it up over Moreno, but free throws on the way for the sophomore.
To your point, I mean, Tavares made the play. Djokovic is getting rewarded for it, but as we talked about it, that's the ability he brings to these Cougars. I mean, when Brzovic goes out, who can make plays on the offensive end? And it's why Tavares was put in the starting lineup.
You're going to put him back in at the 8-minute timeout, Randolph? How much longer? How long do you go? You give him the breather here, obviously.
Yeah. I think it just – I wouldn't keep him long. I mean,
8 minutes, right?
Yeah.
You give him the 8-minute timeout, you get him back in the game.
If he had 4, I'd sit him longer, but with 3, you
Yeah.
don't need to keep him too long. And he has that zone in his back pocket if he wants to try to protect him. He needs to give him a blow because of what he's doing on the offensive end of the floor and the amount of usage he has so far.
69-65. Ali Deba, who shot it well from that spot on the floor, cannot connect this time. Loose ball foul going against the Cougars.
One thing SIU has to figure out with their backcourt is outside of Elliott, they seem to be substituting perimeter guys that lack a little bit of athleticism and defensive ability to having Moo Davis, who's really good defensively, and D. But these guys are physical guys, but they're not quite yet developed the three-point shot yet.
No, that's the biggest question. Right. That's are they well-rounded overall guards? I mean, obviously you see Mayo gives you the defense, not much of a scorer. Elliott gives you the offense, not much of a defender. He's been efficient at least today offensively, which was something that Scott Nagy was certainly worried about coming into the season. But it's the big wings.
Yes.
To me, it's the big wings have to be more consistent. And today they've had spurts where they've both been good, but they haven't been able to put it together.
I think they got the free throw line as a big part of that. I mean, Jared Henderson's ability to stretch the floor. He knocked down the first three to start. He's been battling, foul trouble.
The whole
His
game.
ability to stretch the defense and open up the paint for those wings will be critical for this team, not only today but going forward.
Here's a turnover now forced by Southern. Diba showing off the pace in transition. The basket will not count. Foul on the floor first.
He's got a gear to him as he gets in transition there. I mean, look at this gear here. He just hits the gas right here, gets his shoulder past Djordjevic and wants the and one, but this isn't the NBA, baby. You got to go to the line. You got to go to the line and shoot two.
Scott Nagy said that Massey should be an Olympic track star. Maybe Diba might be on that short list.
He's got a relay team here with the way they transition from the defensive end to the offensive end.
Getting the batons down the floor, the Southern Illinois Salukis.
Nagy said that Diba has the best first step of anybody he's ever coached.
He did say that, yeah.
I mean, explosive. You could see it there, unorthodox, but again, he's got to be a guy who's a little more consistent.
And that's 30 years of Scott Nagy being the head coach.
Long time.
Mentioned Scott with Wright State last season. They went 18-14. They were 13-7 in the Horizon. But he took that program to 3 NCAA tournaments and an NIT. They obviously won a ton at South Dakota State. They won at Wright State. He's trying to get Southern Illinois back to the team that made 6 straight NCAAs about 20 years ago now, a couple of Sweet 16s. It's a really good program in Carbondale. And the town loves basketball. You've been there, Jeff. You know what it's like when the place is going.
No, such a great town. And again, one of the best games I ever saw was Southern Illinois against Butler. Brad Stevens' first year as a head coach at Butler, and Butler won that game on a 40-footer at the buzzer.
Shot clock winding down. It'll be a violation as Fulton did not touch iron. Southern Illinois back level, by the way, at 69 with 8:43 to go.
Edit the tape. You will not find a better defensive possession today across the country. I mean, that is elite ball pressure, blowing up ball screens. Just a heck of a defensive possession there.
Traditionally, that are what Scott Nagy's teams are known for. Defense, rebounding as Moreno gets it inside on Brzovic. The righty hook from the Mexican does not drop. Brzovic there on the rebounds.
You like that, RC, going into Moreno here?
I
know he loves to go down low to his bigs, but I'm not loving that one.
No. And if you're telling Moreno, he has to get deeper. He allowed Brzovic, he probably outweighs about 30 or 40 pounds. He's got to bury him a lot deeper.
On the other end, Tavares with the make. He's got 15. Diba with the answer on the other ends. Quietly 14 points for Ali Diba. 71-71, under 8 to play here in Game 1 in this triple header of the Field of 68 opening day showcase. Is Brzovic blowing by Moreno that time. That's a mismatch on the perimeter.
He just can't guard him out there. That's just too easy of a play.
Brzovic up to 25. His season high a year ago was 31. Elliott cannot answer from 3. No second chance this time for the Salukis. Charleston back up by 2. One of the top mid-majors in the nation year after year, trying to start with the W, a long way from home in South Dakota. Their first ever meeting with this team from Carbondale, Illinois.
You got to go to him every time right now. Every time down the court.
Yes. It's going to force Coach Nagy to call a timeout. He's got to get a body in it that can guard Brzovic.
And he's going to take one right here. Ante Brzovic, 11 of 15 from the floor. 4 boards, a couple of assists and blocks as well. 27 for the CAA preseason player of the year. Unstoppable. His team up by 4.
Would you be surprised to find out that the Field of 68 is home to more than 35 podcasts? More than 25 team-specific podcasts that are hosted by the people that know what fans want the most. The Goodman and Humble podcast, the DTF podcast, the A10 Insider podcast, and the Mountain West podcast. But wait, there's even more. The Field of 68 will be launching the ACC Insider podcast this year. Subscribe to this channel and come along for the ride.
What does primary care mean to us? At Sanford Health, it means being there when and where you need it most. It means building a relationship, because when a provider really knows you, they can deliver the best care for every aspect of your health and your life. So what does primary care mean for you? It means understanding your health for today and for where you're headed next. It means a lifetime of care for a lifetime of you.
There is no sport in America that is more difficult to follow than college basketball. It can be overwhelming. That's where the Field of 68 Daily comes into play. The Daily is your go-to source for injury updates, recruiting news, and transfer portal additions that actually matter. For just $50 a year, get access to the same information that your favorite team's coaching staff is subscribed for. Quality content can be hard to find in the college basketball space. The Daily is here to help you with that.
6 minutes, 49 seconds left in regulation. College of Charleston up by 4 over Southern Illinois. Here from the Sanford Pentagon. This has become a bit of a mecca of college basketball in recent seasons. They've hosted a lot of big-time, high major games, including in 2020, #1 Gonzaga, #3 Iowa during that COVID season. They've got a couple of more really good ones coming up this year as well. It's a fun facility.
Listen, part of the reason we ended up doing this here was because Scott Drew's been here a few times, and I talked to Scott about this place, and he said, absolutely. First class, how they handle everything. I mean, the arena's beautiful. The people who run everything couldn't be more helpful. This is one of the best venues in America.
The locals will really get behind it as well.
Yeah.
When you get in town, everyone's talking about basketball here. They know their history, they know their game, and you know, we had Coach on earlier talking about it in the Miami Heat G League team being here. You wouldn't think they'd be this far, and it's got to be a reason that they want that type of support and want to be a part of it.
They mentioned this is the home of the Sioux Falls Skyforce, the G League affiliate of the Miami Heat. Of course, we talked with Coach at the break. And I get a chance to chat with your son a little bit later, who's a part of that organization now.
And we're not letting you get out of here, too, without telling us the 10 best restaurants to eat.
Long three from Hensley off the mark. This game is way too good for that.
We'll wait till a later game.
We'll wait.
75-71. Charleston led by 3 at the half, up by as many as 11 in the first 20. SIU has been gritty, determined in the second, taking the lead on a couple of occasions. They've had a hard time stopping this man. The double comes. Tavares, the kick. Prunty in the corner. Jones on the offensive glass.
Really good offensive possession there by the Cougars. Just driving the ball in the paint, kicking it, missing an open shot, but Elliott following up, getting the glass. Elijah Jones there.
First bucket of the game for Elijah Jones. It's a big one to push the lead to 6. 5:44 left in the second. Back to the Pentagon after this.
If you haven't heard by now, we have partnered with BetMGM for the season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we'll have special offers for the listeners and the viewers. Download the BetMGM app and sign up using the bonus code FIELD. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you'll receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets. Go download the BetMGM app and use the code FIELD today.
If you have a question, I'll take the time.
I love being a pharmacist at Lewis Drug because I love helping people.
If you have a question, any question, I'll take the time to answer it.
If you have a question, any question, I'll take the time to answer it.
I'm Mark Griffin, president of Lewis Drug. For 81 years, Lewis Drug has been helping families stay healthy and enjoy life. If you ever have a question, any question, a Lewis pharmacist will take the time. Welcome to Lewis Drug.
Would you be surprised to find out that the Field of 68 is home to more than 35 podcasts? More than 25 team-specific podcasts that are hosted by the people that know what fans want the most. The Goodman and Humble podcast, the DTF podcast, the A10 Insider podcast, and the Mountain West podcast. But wait, there's even more. The Field of 68 will be launching the ACC Insider podcast this year. Subscribe to this channel and come along for the ride.
It's been fascinating watching how Chris Mack uses Ante Brozovic here at the 5. Typically, when you think of a Chris Mack big man, you think of big, you think physical, you think low post, you think defense, you think junkyard dog. That's not what Ante Brozovic is. He's skilled. They pull him out on the perimeter, and the way that Chris is able to put him in offensive sets that you don't generally think of when you imagine a Chris Mack offense has been a lot of fun to watch, guys.
Yeah, we would agree, Rob. He's been special this afternoon.
I think he's changed, and the biggest improvement has been he's playing inside out. I think he's settled in the pass, and credit to him. I mean, he's asked to be the guy and to step up and deliver, and he's doing it. You know, he's doing it on both ends of the floor. And it's critical for him to stay out of foul trouble, and the biggest thing he's proven is that he can carry the load for this team on the offensive end, and if he does, look out when they get completely healthy and get their full roster.
Yeah, because Djokovic is kind of a shell of what he's going to be.
Right.
And then you add Darren Boyd, a perimeter threat who can score and make life a little bit easier. Then C.J. Fulton can be that pass-first guy who can pick his spots offensively. But Tavares has given him some great minutes tonight offensively.
And I think it pushes him down a little bit, and it'll allow him to be even more efficient as well.
77-73, 4-point ball game, 5.5 to go in the second. Brozovic with the touch on the perimeter to Fulton. Good defending by Sykes. Fulton will get the look from 3 and knock it down. Third triple of the day for C.J. Fulton. He's got 15. The lead back up to 7.
And that's what makes him so special. It's that he's not going to overpower you. He just knows how to play and be effective. Picks and chooses his moments. You think of him as a pass-first guy, and he takes a big shot like that and knocks it down.
And good defense there.
Yes.
Really good defense.
It is Tavares in transition. Diba affected the shot. Fulton able to run down the loose ball, finding Punty inside.
Making winning plays like that. That's what he does. He's
the defense, the pass.
Yes.
Right there. 3 successive plays.
Chase down a loose ball, finds an open guy, and it's money time now.
One of the reasons why Fulton was preseason all-conference in the CAA. A former All-Patriot League player when he was with Lafayette to start his career.
And he was worried, guys. He was worried when Pat Kelsey left. Ante Brozovic put his name in the portal. Yep. Everybody else left. He didn't know what to do, but he kind of stayed true, and then when Ante came back, he decided to stick around as well.
Brozovic, good feed inside Jones, and that was a hard foul by Diba. And they're going to call the intentional on this. Jones looks like he's no worse for wear.
Yeah, I saw the foul. I thought he made an attempt to block it. I don't know if I think it's an intentional foul at this point, but I understand the call. Let's see if they go back and review it and change it.
It was almost like he got his arm hooked in the elbow of Elijah Jones on the follow-through on the block, and that's what made the collision so violent. No surprise that our crew is going to take a look at this again.
It may be intentional by rule, but his intent was to come in and try to block it there. Comes in, he goes for the ball, he just misses. I don't think he hits him in the head.
Just a reminder, this is just game 1 of 3 here from the Sanford Pentagon on the Field of 68 opening day showcase. 2 phenomenal matchups coming up later at 2 and at 5 with St. Louis and Santa Clara, and then SCSU against McNeese State.
Yeah, I mean, this next game is going to be awesome.
Yes.
St. Louis, Santa Clara, you got a team, Josh Schertz, who, as you talked about earlier, has Robbie Avila, one of the best big men in the country, brand new team. Santa Clara, they might be Gonzaga's biggest competition this year to a WCC title. They've got almost everything back, and they add a kid in Carlos Stewart who comes back after being gone, and he averaged 15 a game for Santa Clara 2 years ago. So I can't wait for this next game. But first, hey, listen, Charleston's got to close this one out, RC.
They do. And the game right now, we're in the guts of the game right now. Big decision right here because intentional foul, they may get the 2 shots and the ball. And at this point, as we're approaching the 4-minute mark, it's critical because you can potentially going down 10 points or more.
SIU has gone cold at the wrong time. No points in the last 2 minutes for the Salukis. It's a 5-0 run right now for Charleston, and a chance to add to that with free throws coming.
the zone is bothering him, and they confirmed it to be, 2 shots on the ball here. This is a big play. And I didn't think his intent was to hit, but it was just what happened. I think he went for the ball and he missed. And
Hey, it's changed from your day, hasn't it?
oh, man. Oh, man.
That's not even a foul in your day.
I see shakes his head.
Yeah, that's it's changed significantly of that, but
Jones able to get 1 of 2. The lead now to 10. First time it's been in double figures in this half.
and I tell you why you want that call too is because I'm coming in fouling. I just don't want to give up the and one.
Yeah.
And that's why it's such a tough decision and a tough call.
Berzovic back to work. Great vision inside.
Just dominating the game.
What hasn't he done today?
He's dominating this game. And now they're back into this 1-3-1, which is taking over the game, and I think we're seeing the beginning of the end here.
And look who comes up with the basketball. Berzovic with the steal after he has the dime on the other ends. Oh, now they're going to call Ante Berzovic for his 4th personal. The pro-Charleston crowd does not like it. Little twist in the plot with 3:44 here left in the seconds. Back to Sioux Falls in a moment. 12-point ball game with the Cougars on top.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can go, from player to coach, from the ground to the sky.
So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of Salukis. Capture this moment and go forward together.
There is no sport in America that is more difficult to follow than college basketball. It can be overwhelming. That's where the Field of 68 Daily comes into play. The Daily is your go-to source for injury updates, recruiting news, and transfer portal editions that actually matter. For just $50 a year, get access to the same information that your favorite team's coaching staff is subscribed for. Quality content can be hard to find in the college basketball space. The Daily is here to help you with that.
Daewoo Tavares and the College of Charleston building a 12-point advantage, their largest lead of the game with 3:44 to go. A unique sequence right before we went to break. What did you see here, RC, on the foul by Berzovic?
I didn't see a lot, but maybe he's saying that right hand before, and maybe he swam over and gained an advantage and able to try to get the steal. And one thing about it, they made the call, you can't change it. But it is his 4th foul, and he's got to be careful here. And
Berzovic will stay in the game with those 4 personals. He's one of four Cougars who do have 4. Djokovic, Tavares, and Jones, all with that number, along with their star player who's got 27 points this afternoon. Jared Hensley at the free throw line. He's been hampered by foul trouble as well, but makes a couple of big free throws to stay perfect from the stripe. Chris Mack's side now up by 10, and the pressure comes.
They got to turn it up now.
yeah,
Which is hard to do against Fulton.
he just doesn't turn it over,
Right.
and he's going to get him in the offense, and he's going to get him a shot. And you have the playmaking ability of Tavares as well. And
Here is Tavares. Berzovic. Hensley with the rebound, and it was Jones over his back. It'll be 5 on Elijah Jones, and looked like he might have turned an ankle on that play as well.
Looked like he came down on someone's foot there and rolled his ankle. Let's hope it's not too bad.
Jones, who is a senior, originally from Illinois. A little shaken up on the play.
Yeah, it's giving him good minutes. He's not going to be a guy who does a ton on the stat sheet, but you know what he does? He's tough, he's active, he rebounds, he defends, and he's done for the day. And now Lazar Djokovic got to come back in, and again, it's about protecting this 10-point lead at this point. If you're Charleston,
it is.
You don't want to get Southern Illinois back within a 1 or 2 possession game and put game pressure on you at the end, especially with Brzovic having 4 fouls.
This, by the way, the exact same scenario we had at the end of the first half. Charleston was up by 11 with about 3:25 to go. SIU closed that half with the flourish and was down by 1 before that Brzovic buzzer beater.
I think the difference now, though, is that College of Charleston will stand at 1-3-1 and force those guys to make plays. And on the other end, they're going to make sure Brzovic touches it every time down the floor here. And he's either shown the ability to score, draw a foul, or find a teammate. And you know, they have 2 issues right now. One, scoring against his own, and the other is stopping Brzovic on the other end.
I would say getting the ball to 10 would be wise counsel on that end.
Yeah, I don't think you need to be awarded good coaching for doing that. That's just
Hensley unable to connect on either free throw attempt, so the lead stays at 10.
Seconds.
10 call. Look at that. Prunty, the freshman. Chris Mack can't believe it.
Thought it was a quick count ourselves, but they keep going side to side. At some point, you can't go east and west. You got to advance the ball, and I knew it'd be close.
14th turnover forced by SIU today. They've only committed 8, by the way. That was a real concern for Scott Nagy coming in, as Mayo cannot hit the floater. Back-to-back empty possessions for the Salukis as they try and fight back in this now with under 3 to play.
Their biggest issue is there seems to be a lid on the basket the further they get away from it. And, you know, and as teams play more zone against this group and force them to shoot jump shots, they're going to have to make an adjustment.
Turnover forced, though. Hensley in transition to Davis. Moo Davis on the inside.
And that's part of the reason they want to play fast. Coach Nagy knows they're not a great shooting team. They want to play like that in transition. But some of the better teams are not going to let you beat them in transition. They're going to force you to play half-court offense.
Broke that press easy.
85-77. C.J. Fulton, the senior point guard, taking it to the 10. Djokovic with the screen to free the man from Belfast for the easy lay-in. Deba cannot connect at the other end, but gets his own miss. Ball touched by Fulton, jumping the passing lane. 12 to shoot for the Salukis, 1:55 to go. Elijah Elliott quiet in this second half. They've done a good job slowing him down. Deba cannot connect. Brzovic there.
That's something I didn't think Brzovic did a great job of in the first half. He only had 1 rebound early, and he's at about 7 now, and done a really good job of getting in there and starting to rebound the basketball in the second half.
Talk about an all-around game.
Yeah.
27 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks, a steal. I mean, he's really done everything for this team. He's done exactly what Chris Mack needed him to do, especially without Boyd, without another weapon on the perimeter.
And he stayed on the floor. 34 minutes of action.
Yeah.
As you said, only averaged around 22 in that Kyle Kelsey system that played so many guys. He's proven today he's up for the task.
He has. He has shown you, I don't want to be a guy, I want to be the guy. And he has been that today, been dominant. He's been the best player on the floor, and why he's the preseason CAA Player of the Year, and he's delivering.
Big picture, what is his ceiling this year in terms of establishing himself as one of the best bigs in the country?
I mean, I think he and Djokovic, when we see the real Lazar Djokovic, can be one of the best 4-5 combos. Not just in the they're going to be the best in the CAA, clearly. but I think they can go up against just about anybody in the country, RC. Like, I look at North Carolina as bigs, and I say to myself, if Djokovic, again, comes along like we think he will, Carolina might trade their 4s and 5s right now for these two.
Everything will depend on Djokovic. I mean, it's just how his development comes along. As we see here, Southern Illinois is going cold. They hadn't had much offense on the perimeter from Elliott there. And but to your point, Jeff, I agree in the sense of the ceiling is so high for this team, depending on the development of Djokovic. He's been injured all summer, so they don't know. He's conditioning and everything. The speed of the game needs to slow down for him. Let's see if he can take that step. And you know Chris Mack's going to coach him, but until he gets that, having a guy like Berzovic to control the pace of the game is just a luxury.
We heard Eric Henderson of South Dakota State talk in the build-up to this that he always wants to have the best point guard in the league and the best big man in the league. That's what Chris Mack has with C.J. Fulton and Ante Berzovic, it would appear, in the CAA this year. Or close to it, at least, in terms of facilitating.
Fulton's different, right? Fulton's not going to blow you away. He's not flashy. You know, the big thing for C.J. Fulton, again, was defensively. And he showed it today. To be honest, he did a good job against these more athletic guards.
He has done a really good job of competing on the defensive end, but what he is he's just a guy, he maximizes possessions. He doesn't turn it over. He's becoming a better defender. He's playing off of Berzovic as well as anyone is. He's finding a guy, and he's just taking and picking his spots. He's incredibly efficient. I mean, we talk play what we want. I mean, he's got 17 points here. We're talking as if he's not an offensive guy.
One turnover.
And he averaged 4 last year.
I mean,
talk about making the jump from your junior to your senior season.
He's more comfortable. He came over after 2 years at Lafayette, and you can just see he's far more comfortable with this group than a group he walked into a year ago that kind of had already established themselves.
1 minute remaining. 1 minute.
I think part of that, too, it's a benefit of playing more. Because all these guys, they rotated minutes, and you played 10 to 15 to 20 minutes, and now Chris Mack's come in and said, you're the guy. You continue to take care of the basketball, keep making smart decisions, you're the guy. And both of these guys have upped their production and have answered the bell. And Chris Mack isn't always happy doing the game, but he's got to be happy today.
No doubt. Because you saw what your team had in him, too, from a mental toughness standpoint when the game got tight, right? You didn't run away with it.
No.
Could have run away with it at the end of the first half. Instead, Southern Illinois came back, took the lead, and you saw how these guys responded.
And even on the other side, I think with Scott Nagy, there's a lot to be positive about with this group. You know, they have to establish something on the offensive end of the floor in the half court. They know they're going to struggle when they consistently on that end, and got to come up with a way to continue to attack the paint better against the zone.
90 to 80. Djokovic showing the athleticism, the swats. That was Ali Diba on the drive. For Charleston, by the way, they'll get to play 7 of their first 10 at home. So you get a chance to learn and grow on your home floor as well, where they were pretty good last year on their home court in Charleston.
Yeah, we got 2 of their games coming up. November 15th and 17th, they play in a round robin with FAU and Liberty in Charleston this year. So we'll have those games. And Darren Boyd, I talked to before the game, he's hopeful to be back for that.
With that field of 68 tip-off coming up the 15th and 17th, as you said. Quick check to see who the basketball was off of with 22 seconds to go. Charleston will get to go out to Honolulu this year at the Diamond Head Classic coming up around Christmas time. Oregon State, Oakland, Loyola Chicago in that particular event. Conference play begins after the new year. Southern with some good games on their schedule as well. They'll have to play Oklahoma State on the road, Florida on the road. Valley play will begin at the start of December. For both of these programs, I'm sure there's that balance of wanting to test yourself, but also wanting to give your team time to figure themselves out and figure you out as a coach and a new staff, RC.
And again, we talked about it. There are 2 programs that there are expectations for these programs. They're not taking over programs that they don't have time to figure it out. These programs are expected to win. I mean, with the success Kelsey had here at College of Charleston, they're expecting Chris Mack to hit the ground running.
Yep.
And the same thing here.
Well, because he's got NIL too, right, Charleston? You got good NIL. You're the best resource program in the league. You're picked second this year because Towson brought everything back. But you're right, the fans, they're not thinking second.
No.
You got to win.
No.
You go for 3 in a row in the CAA. And based on today's showing and some of the high-level players they've got, and maybe a little more depth than we perhaps thought, would be a shock to see them
That's the benefit
keep that rolling.
of today, right,
Yeah.
of being without Darren Boyd. You see some of these other guys again. To me, Tavares was kind of the X factor guy today.
And we should say, Darian Boyd was a preseason all-conference pick coming over from Lipscomb, so they expect big things from him, and you've said it. He's going to be a difference maker for this team, who will pick up their first win of the young season today. Chris Mack's return to college basketball ends in a victory here in Sioux Falls. College of Charleston, 90-80 over Southern Illinois. Chris Mack's Cougars head to South Dakota and get the victory over Scott Nagy's Salukis.
Just a great win, I think, overall. They kept the pace. They had the best player on the floor. And Ante Berzovich did a heck of a job today. Just controlled the tempo. He involved his teammates early. They came out so hot from the three-point line. SIU did a heck of a job coming back in the game on the defensive end of the floor. They pressed. They created turnovers. The difference in the game is the zone. It just exploited the fact that the SIU team didn't do a great job of shooting from three. They'll fix some things. They'll do a better job of attacking the paint, but no reason to hang your head down. It's just the first of many.
Yeah, you see this Charleston team for the first time. I've seen them a couple times in practice, and to be honest, you can see the upside of this team.
The final numbers look like this. 3-point shooting, certainly the difference in the first half. Charleston only made 2 triples after the break. SIU under 25% from deep. Cougars controlling the glass as well, and they caught up in terms of points on the paint as the game went
And that
on.
was the biggest difference. The zone did that. It made Southern Illinois ineffective because it controlled the paint, forced them into shooting threes, and the biggest difference is 3-point shooting.
Ante Berzovich 1 board shy of a double-double, 27-9-4 for the preseason player of the year in the CAA. 4 Cougars in double figures with Tavares and Fulton chipping in with 17 apiece. Prunty, the freshman, with 10 in his collegiate debut. Good effort on the offensive end from Elijah Elliott with 23. He really gave them a shot in this game. They just went cold at the wrong time in that second half.
Yeah, they're going to have to figure out a way to find some perimeter shooting to be more consistent with it.
The star of this contest, Ante Berzovich, standing by right now with our Rob Doster.
I'm here, Ante Berzovich, fresh off of a 27-point, 8 rebound, 4 assists, 2 blocks, 1 steal. That's quite a way to start the stat sheet, huh?
Yeah, I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ first of all. He's been keeping me healthy the whole summer. I've been working hard. This team has been working hard. It's a whole new team. I'm really proud of everybody. Kudos to Southern Illinois too. They're a great team. I wish them all the best. Now we got to recover, quick turnaround. We have a big game on Friday at home. So we get home, recovery, next game up.
The adjustment to playing for Chris Mack after playing for Pat Kelsey, you logged 36 minutes tonight. Yeah. You in shape? Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I was. I mean, once he recruited me, he said that he likes to play with a shorter rotation, something that I haven't really had in the last 2 years. That's the way he plays, and you know, I embraced it. We all did. Everybody has their role on the team. We're doing really good so far. So I'm really proud of my guys.
17 points, 7 assists from C.J. Fulton. What'd you see out of him tonight?
I mean, I've been with him last year, so I know what he's capable of. It's been big time for us tonight. Always makes the right play, always at the right place, makes the right read. It's so easy to play with him. We're really happy we have him. 1-0
in the season, man. You got to be happy with that.
Say that again?
1-0 in the season. You can't get better than that.
Yeah, it's better if we get 2-0 soon.
Yeah, congratulations, man. Thank you.
Go 2-0. They'll have that chance coming up back in Charleston, as Ante said, on Friday. Big game for him and a big win for Chris Mack in his return to college basketball.
Yeah, I mean, you waited 2.5 years for this. You know, I mean, he takes over a program at Charleston.